In 2023, the tech world was handed what felt like a prophecy, a death sentence for an entire industry wrapped in the promise of efficiency. Leading researchers predicted that AI would replace up to 80% of software developers by 2025. We were told the future was agentic, that companies would have digital coworkers who never slept, never complained, and never shipped bugs. The narrative was clean, simple, and devastatingly wrong. By the end of 2024, over 152,000 tech employees had been laid off globally. By the first quarter of 2025, giants like Intel and Amazon cut an additional 30,000 corporate roles, all to realign for what they called an AI-centric future. But here's what nobody saw coming. It's now 2026, and those miraculous AI tools are being quietly shelved. Reuters recently reported that while nearly 97% of tech leaders integrated AI into their back-end systems, 2/3 of them haven't saved a single human headcount. In fact, the opposite is happening. AI has a dangerously short memory for complex system architectures, and the bill for that amnesia is finally coming due. Today, we're going to look at how the plan to replace developers with AI went horribly, predictably wrong. The narrative sounded bulletproof. Machines would write all the code by the middle of this decade. Google CEO Sundar Pichai noted in late 2024 that over 25% of Google's new code was AI-generated. But as we move deeper into 2026, the empirical evidence tells a much uglier story. The MIT Sloan Center recently released a report titled The Gen AI Divide, and the results are a bloodbath. Despite $40 billion in global investment, a staggering 95% of generative AI pilots in the enterprise sector have failed to deliver a single dollar of measurable return. Most organizations are seeing zero net impact on their bottom line. So what went wrong? The problem has a name: vibe coding. This is the trend where developers use natural language to vibe a piece of software into existence. It feels like magic during a demo. You describe what you want, the AI spits out code, and suddenly you're a developer without knowing a single line of syntax. But as Stanford's Digital Economy Lab pointed out, AI-generated code tends to be simpler, more repetitive, and dangerously less structurally diverse. It lacks the connective tissue required for a system to be robust. Research shows that while AI can help a junior developer finish a basic task 35% faster,
had API keys which were hard-coded, they weren't assigned to environment variables. Those got leaked and people started using them and maxed out the API limits. There was an authorization bypass in the subscription area of the application.
it actually makes the final product less maintainable over the long term. This leads us to what might be the most expensive mistake in tech history. Reuters and The Guardian have both highlighted that AI-assisted development is fueling a global crisis in technical debt. Cast Software recently analyzed 10 billion lines of code and found that it would take 61 billion workdays to pay off the world's current technical debt. We're seeing a 4-time surge in code cloning, where the AI simply copies and pastes similar blocks instead of creating elegant, reusable logic. This has created what engineers call the slop layer. It's code that works, but nobody understands why, and nobody can fix it when it breaks. By trying to save money on developers today, companies have essentially taken out a high-interest loan on their future, and the interest is about to bankrupt them. But it gets worse. The 2025 VeraCode Gen AI report reveals that 45% of AI-generated code contains OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. In Java, the security failure rate now exceeds 72%. Seasoned engineers are now reporting being 19% slower when using AI tools.
The job search certainly has some minefields, from phantom job listings to silent firings. There are some things.
Why? Because they've become AI babysitters. They spend an average of 11 hours a week just correcting hallucinations. Code that looks syntactically correct, but contains logical landmines waiting to explode. CodeRabbit recently revealed that AI-generated pull requests contain an average of 10.8 issues, nearly double the 6.4 found in human-written code. We aren't speeding up. We're just creating a massive backlog of work for ourselves in the future. But the most damaging effect isn't the code itself. It's what's happening to the people. We're currently witnessing what economists are calling the junior death spiral. Because companies thought AI could handle junior-level tasks, Entry-level hiring plummeted by nearly 50% between 2023 and 2025. Stanford research found that in AI-exposed roles, employment for younger workers has declined significantly, while it's actually increased for workers over 35. We're effectively cutting off the pipeline of future talent. If you don't hire juniors today, you won't have seniors in 5 years. The training wheels are gone.
You're going to start by checking out this site called VibeCode. It's now available to download on the App Store. And then you're going to start creating 10 to 15 apps each day.
Just describing details, and once you click send, it instantly starts generating code right before your eyes.
In the past, a junior developer learned by writing boilerplate code, making mistakes, and gradually understanding system architecture. Now the AI does the boilerplate, and the junior is expected to jump straight into complex architecture without that foundational experience. It's like asking someone to run a marathon when they never learned to walk. And here's the cruel twist. While companies are realizing they need humans after all, they're also realizing they have the upper hand in the job market for the first time in a decade. Reuters and IT jobs. Watch data for 2026 show a brutal shift in the power dynamic. In the UK and US, median salaries for general software roles have actually dipped by nearly 9% year over year. Why? Because the market is flooded with developers displaced by earlier layoffs. Management is using the narrative of AI productivity as a psychological weapon in salary negotiations. They'll tell a candidate, well, we need a human to oversee the architecture, but since the AI is doing 40% of the heavy lifting, we can't justify those 2022 level salaries. It's a bluff, but it's working. Then there's the scandal that exposed the entire charade. The collapse of $1.5 billion startup Builder AI revealed a massive AI washing scheme. Court filings showed the company relied on 700 human engineers in India to manually perform tasks marketed as fully autonomous AI. They promised a machine but sold a sweatshop. And when the money ran out to pay the humans, the AI died. But even the real AI tools are failing in spectacular ways. In late 2025, we saw the infamous incident where a developer asked an AI to clear a project cache. The AI misread a flag and executed a recursive delete on the root directory. It didn't ask for permission. It just wiped a 2-terabyte production drive in seconds. The AI's response? I made a catastrophic error in judgment. But an apology doesn't bring back months of work. As Forbes pointed out, the industry is finally realizing that AI lacks the one thing essential for software engineering: accountability. So here's the bottom line for 2026. AI didn't replace developers. It replaced the delusion that software development is an easy, automated task. The companies winning today are the ones who stopped trying to prompt their way to success and started reinvesting in human architects. We've learned that free AI code is the most expensive debt you can ever take on. And while employers might be using the AI narrative to suppress wages today, their reliance on human ability to fix the AI's mistakes will eventually force the pendulum to swing back. The revolution everyone predicted didn't happen. Instead, we got a cautionary tale about the limits of automation, the hidden costs of cutting corners, and the irreplaceable value of human expertise. The software engineer isn't being replaced. The fantasy that they could be is.